I think you came to us early January, right? To
Right.
see if we could work together, right? Like what was the reason that you wanted to work with us on the revenue management?
So our relationship from a revenue management perspective started with the revenue management consulting at the beginning. And it was kind of just to explore what we can be doing better. That's how this started for us. And as we had those weekly calls and those meetings, we realized that there was a lot more to revenue management that meets the eye. And especially for us. For us, historically, it was kind of just like set it and forget it on Price Labs. And, we look at it whenever we could and didn't really know how to optimize. But as you were teaching us things, we realized that it takes a lot more time than you probably would think to optimize your revenue. And when we got to the end of that consulting period, we said, hey, we think it'll be a good idea if Jasper and his team actually took this on. And the numbers made sense. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in this because it's a business. We love it, of course, but it is a business and it needs to make money, and the decisions that we make have to yield. And you helped us see that, based on how, or the extra income that we can expect, taking away your fee, we're still going to be making more money than we would have if we did this alone. And that's really that's the bottom line for us. It's working with you and doing it together is going to make us more money. And not to mention the relationship is good, and we know that we're in good hands because you guys are industry experts.
So, well, let's dive into kind of like what have the results been, but more importantly, like how did we get to those results, right? Because there's a lot of learning lessons, I think, in the 5 months or so that we've been working together. So let me ask you that first, and I have a lot of things that I could share, obviously, on my side, but what will from what you've seen, like what were some of the biggest like learning lessons or changes that we've made since we started working together?
I mean, so it's not just purely numbers, so a lot of the things that we learned with you was, we actually reviewed our listings and realized that there was a lot more that we can be doing that we weren't doing that will help us generate more revenue. But it's something that we've noticed that when we made those changes, along with the work that you've been doing on your side, we're seeing increases in revenue.
But let me share some results real quick, right? So in our RevPAR, which if you're not unfamiliar with RevPAR, it stands for revenue per available room. It's really the best KPI or the best metric that we have in the industry to look at our results. And the reason is that RevPAR combines occupancy with ADR, but also the amount of time that a unit is available, right? So if we just look at revenue, that's not a good metric, because what if the owner occupied the unit for like a week, or let's say it was closed for maintenance for like a week or so, and RevPAR really takes that into account by calculating the average amount of money that you made per day. So if the month has 30 days, then you just divide the total revenue by 30, and that's how you get to your RevPAR. So April and May, our RevPAR was up about 27% compared to last year. The market was, and we always adjust for markets when we evaluate, right? Because if we're taking over a portfolio and we're like, hey, we did 20% better at RevPAR, but then if the entire market is up 20%, then we really didn't do any better than last year, right? So we always adjust our numbers for how the market did. So RevPAR 30%, that's pretty. I'm pretty excited about that, because I remember when we first started working together, I told you, like, okay, I think we can, we could probably do like at least 10, 15, maybe 20, maybe 25. So just seeing that 30% RevPAR increase is pretty exciting. And then just to kind of give an idea of like the additional revenue that's being created, I just calculated it just for April and May, that results in like almost 50,000 of additional revenue, which in your case, because you're master leasing and you're not doing management, that's actually money goes straight into your pocket, right?
Right.
And I calculated that's a 5.64 ROI actually on the fee that you're paying us. Like, let me ask you, like, what on the pricing side, like, what from your perspective, what were some of the biggest changes that we've made?
I mean, it's all these nuances. There's so many things that you guys are doing that we weren't even thinking about. Like you mentioned the early bird specials and the way those are executed, they take a lot of work to actually do. But it's a combination of all those little things that, when stacked, make a difference to the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you don't have the time like us to actually execute those things, that's why the service is it's been so valuable.